Hi everyone, Amazing here. Welcome to my free Excel dashboard tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful and highly dynamic interactive Excel dashboard. But as you can see right here, when I started Excel, there's something that is actually wrong with this Excel dashboard right now because the filter is not really working in some part of the Excel. I don't know what is going on. So we can actually go ahead and actually make sure we fix this. So I just want to show you before I actually go ahead and do the creation from the scratch. We can actually create this from the scratch. If you stay with me, we're going to do this and actually achieve everything. But right now the functionality is not working well. In case you encounter such a problem, how do you solve it? Let me just show you how to solve it. Right now the filters are not really working in all part of the Excel. Anything we do right here is not showing, so we want to actually go ahead and fix this. To fix this kind of issue right now, all you need to do is just to go to file, and from file you go to option, and from option what you need to look for is to the formula aspect. Now the formula should be on automatic for it to actually work, the pivot table on the slicer, and whatsoever we created right here, the calculation will get to calculate automatically. But right now it is on manual until we refresh before we actually get to see the dashboard actually updated. We don't want to do that, so we can actually put it on on automatic, and after we might have done that, the next we're going to do right now is just to hit on OK, and you see, voila, exactly. Now, if I place a filter right now, you're going to see that the filter is going to actually work and the whole dashboard gets to actually update automatically. That is what it is. In case you have a problem like that, you can actually have it solved that same way. Now we have this people's chart with animation that I'm going to show you how to create as well. So you can see the animation is very fun and I love it, and I believe you're going to like to see how we just get to create this in just some few steps. We are done with it. So right now, stay to the end of this video and actually learn how we got this created. So it's all about product analysis, and we have the data set right here, which is the sales data and all of that. So we always take data and make it sing. You know what it is? We tell stories with the data we have are here with us. So right now, let us see the sheet we're going to actually be doing this on right now. So right here I have this particular dashboard pre-formatted for you. Now we have some basic black color at the top level right here with the name of the YouTube channel, and as well right here is just a shape. Can you see that? It's just a shape, and the people's chat is right here, but we put it on white. We can't see right now, but you can see we have the people's chat right here. I'm going to show you every single thing and how we can actually have the opportunity of creating the same kind of dashboard on our own from the scratch. You see, all those are just shapes you can actually do to get the basic shape we have right here, and we just insert a shape and actually take the shape to whatever level we like, and here we go, we give it a color. So that is all we have done. So now have this dashboard downloaded and actually follow along step by step. Now the first thing we're going to do right now is just to get the values we have right here, that which is the units sold, cost of goods sold, sales, and as well the daily transaction. Before you delve into the deep analysis, you want to know the total units sold, the cost of goods sold, and the sales, and as well you want to know the profit totally, and you want to see how many transactions you have over time. And we have to just create this, and it's with a single step, so we can actually have this created. So let's just go to the right sheet. So here is the data we're going to be using for this analysis, and the first thing we're going to do right now is just to create a pivot table from here. And this is what we need to do. We just insert, and from insert you see our pivot table. Pivot table is used to summarize data, and if you want to see formula based, you can actually click on my channel and you see a formula based dashboard creation from the scratch. And now we can actually go to this particular store location analysis right here. And once I'm here, I'm just gonna actually have to paste this right here, and here we go. We created our first pivot table, and here we go. So now what we need to do is just for we to get the sales right under the value. So you can drag it if you know where you are supposed to put it. If you don't know, just click on it, and automatically the machine is just going to actually default to where it should be for you. And we have the unit sold right here. We click on it, and we click on this particular product ID to just get the count of transaction we have over time. So now we should make sure that the product is under the count. So I'm just going to go and make sure we put the product ID under the count, which means it's going to count how many transactions we've had over time. This is exactly beautiful. I love this. Now what I'm going to show you right now is just that we want to make this very clean. So for we to do that, I'm just going to say Ctrl H, and we have this. I'm going to say sum off. So what am I going to do? I'm trying to actually eliminate this particular sum off from here, and I'm going to say replace. Automatically I have it removed off. And the next I'm going to take off right now is the count off, and I'm going to take count off away. That is good. But I don't really need to actually have this particular one right here. I'm just going to actually click on here, and I'm going to go to the top level and activate the formula bar. As you can see right now, we don't have the formula bar. By clicking at the top level right here, I have view and I have the formula bar activated. Here I have it. If I click on this right now, I want to have this changed. Um, I'm going to say transaction. So I'm going to say just trans for transaction. I hit enter, so I have to change dynamically. So right now we can select this, and they're going to be on the dollars value. So I'm just going to say Control 1 to just have it formatted where I feel like. I'm just going to go for this particular currency type. Now we have it, and I'm going to say no extra decimal, and I'm going to remove that, and I hit enter. So now the next thing I'm going to do right now, I just want to make sure I have a separator on this one. Control 1 again will do that. Now we're going to go for number, and the extra decimal away, and we just click on OK, and here we go. We have it formatted where it should be. Okay, right now let me hit on my dashboard and see what is going to be happening, so we don't have to record this over and over again. I'm going to double click on this. Sorry, I'm just going to highlight everything and drop this down right here. Beautiful, right? I love that. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to actually have this here as well, and we have to bring the values that is actually peculiar to all this. So now for unit sold, we can actually highlight and just put on equal to, and we go for this particular aspect, and we take the unit sold right here down to this particular aspect. And the next thing now is for we to actually take the cost of goods sold, which we're going to do right now, which is the cost of goods sold is this. So like that, we get everything right here. So finally, we have just gotten everything right here. The next thing we're going to do right now is just for we to format it. I'm just going to click on this particular home right here and go right here and actually change this to 18. And I don't want to have this in very deep black. I can go ahead and actually customize it the way I really want it. I want to make sure it's on this, and once I've done that, you can start to bold it, but I don't want to go bold. Just double click on this, so you copy the formatting to other part of the values we have right here, and voila, we are done with this. So this is the first step we have to take out of lot. So let me just go to the master dashboard right here. So now we need to actually get the daily transaction and how many transactions we have on a daily basis. So to do that is very simple. All we need to do is just to go back to this sheet right here. So we can now go back to this particular location analysis, and we can recycle through our pivot table. Instead of us to go and create a new pivot table right now, I can just copy this away from here. I'm going to say copy, and I'm going to go this way and have this pasted right here and change it to what I really wanted. So paste it right here. And now that we've just gotten this ready, so I'm going to go ahead and actually deactivate all this right here, exclude the transaction. And for the price, I'm going to get the price away. Now, but I'm going to leave the transaction right here, and for the date, I'm going to go for the date and have the date right here. And here we go, we have the daily transactions. But something is very important for we to actually get off. So the grand total, I want to get it off. Just quickly go to design and go to the grand total and have this particular grand total turned off. Now it's gone. And now for somebody who is going to actually come and actually look at our report, so we need to actually get to have the date right here. How do we do that? Go to the same particular design right now and hit on what? Hit on report layout and put it on tabular form, and here we go, we have this. And right now we have to chart this and actually have the kind of visual we have in the previous dashboard we had completed. I'm going to say insert, and insert is kind of chart right here, and this is what we do. So right now we can actually get this away from here. We don't need that, so we don't need that. So we have to make sure we have this, and right here we can go ahead and actually remove hide this away from the view. But this is not the kind of chart I really wanted, because this is looking pretty basic. I want to make it some kind of much more dynamic than this and show where we have the highest value, right? So for that, I'm going to actually have this deleted, and I'm going to go right here and make a reference to this particular part and drag it to this end. After dragging it to this end, I'm just going to copy it down, and here we have it. So what are we looking for? We're looking for where we have the max value, right? So to go on that, I'm going to type in here max, and from that I'm going to say okay, equal to, I'm going to use if condition to get my max. I'm going to say if this value right here is equal to max, so I'm going to have provide the max a number. We're going to actually reference this particular side from here to here, which is that is the final aspect. So we'll make a reference of that particular range. So, and we have to lock the cell down, so I'm going to perform the cell locking right now. So we've locked it down, so I'm going to have it closed and actually have my comma right on it. Now, we have just give the if condition, the logic test now is actually asking us, if this is true, what do you want? If it is true, I want it to give me this. And if this is false, I just want it to give me NA. I know what that is. So Now I'm gonna have it close twice and close the if condition and hit enter. Because it is not, it's gonna give me NA. I'm gonna drag this down, and here we have the highest uh, transaction. In January 15, we have the highest transaction ever. So we can do that for mean to see where we have the mean transaction whatsoever, but we want to actually stop it right here. And first of all, I'm going to actually highlight this and actually create my chart from here. I'm going to go to data, and from data I'm going to go to sorry, insert. From insert I'm going to go to this particular chart. And if you don't know the kind of chart you should use for this, you can actually go on recommended chart. The machine is going to actually recommend you the kind of chart you should use. You can see we can use line chart in this situation, and we can use this particular clustered column chart right here, and we can use this kind of chart to actually, which is tagged area chart, and we can use this chart. But I'm going to go for this particular chart right here, and I'm going to click on enter. So now I'm going to get any of this out from here because I don't really want them, and make it some kind of a little bit smaller. And once I've done that, I'm going to actually have to get this away because I don't want that. I'm going to actually have to Control X. Oh, it's going to actually help me. Control X will get me from that place to here. So I've cut it. So I'm just going to Control V and have it pasted. So it looks smaller. So now I'm going to actually have to situate this right here and make sure I drag it to this end. So beautiful, we have this. So right now, we are not too cool with what we have right here. Double click on it and actually have this particular format chart area from out. And I'm going to actually click here and say no fill. I'm going to close it. I'm going to click right here and I'm going to say no border. So now what we can see right now is plainly this. And this particular axis right here, I might not it. I'm going to actually take it out. So just hit on, oh, sorry. I'm going to hit on delete and it's gone. So right now, this is what we have. Before we go ahead and do anything, I'm just going to make sure this one is sitting well right here. And I'm going to actually have to bring this back in. So make sure you're sitting that right here. So click right here and actually drag this down. Yeah, that is beautiful. So now I'm going to click right here and right click on it and select data. So right now we have to bring the max right here. And I'm going to go right on this particular aspect again and make sure this one is gone. So I'm going to say, okay, now for that, I'm going to add. So once I click on add, it's going to give me this. And I'm going to go back to here and actually say, okay, for now, I'm going to actually have to clear this away from here. And I'm going to say, okay, the series name is this max. And for the value we need to have it, it's going to be this very value. So move it away from here and just select this value right here. And once we've done that, you can click on OK and we hit OK. Here we have the value right on it. So beautiful. It is time to make a very nice, pretty formatting right here. See what it is. So now here on it, once you've done that, you can actually come to this particular aspect and make sure you have it 100% overlapping. So we just have that. That is beautiful. So we can actually feel like, okay, we don't want the gap, we don't want the chart to be too wide. We want to make it some kind of tiny. You can actually keep adjusting it until you're actually satiated with what kind of chart you really have. So I can actually make it on some kind of 0. I love what I'm seeing right here. And the first thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to click right here and change the chart color to something that is going to actually have a lot of relationship with the color I have right here, which is this particular kind of color. Oh, this is the border. I'm going to have to close it. I don't want the border color. I'm going to go for the fill color. So for the fill color, I'm just going to go for something like this. Okay, beautiful. I love something like this. But for where I have, I think I'm going to still have to go right here and choose this and make it on this. Now, for where I have this particular highest value, I'm just going to click on that and make sure I make it some kind of darker. So it's the one with the dark color, and I love it. So every single time we play the filter, it's going to shift, and this is telling us that this is where we have the highest value. So right now we can go ahead and actually put our what and have our detail bell on top of it. So that's beautiful. We have something like this, and nicely we call this. So we can actually Control B to actually make here to be bold, and we can actually see how readable it is. And when we go back to our data, to analysis page, you can see this. And we want to have what? We want to have here to go with Control 1. And once we have that calculated, so we need to have a separator and no extra decimal. And here we go. Nicely, right? And I can actually copy this formatting for all this particular part where we have the max. I'm just going to say copy. And I'm going to have to drag this down. The formatting is copied. And beautiful. We have something good like this. So once we go back, you can see what we have right here. We can feel like cranking up the values to look some kind of cool on our dashboard. That is beautiful. I love it. So now this is exactly what we need to do to have this created. But right now, let's see how we can actually connect our slicer on it. It's very beautiful. So now we can actually click here And for now, I'm going to actually get this away. Click on my pivot table. And now, what slider do you want to add? So for the slider we want to add slider for category. Make sure you're highlighting the category alone and actually right click on it and go to what? Go to add slider. So here we go. We have our slider, our category slider added, and for which to actually connect this particular to this particular category slider, so we can go to the top level right here and hit analyze. So once we have analyzed, click, just go to what? Go to filter connection, click on it, and actually have it connected. That is exactly what it is. So there are so many ways to do what I've just done right now, but this is the most nicest way to do it. So if I click on it, you can see it's actually working. Now this is exactly what it is. So let us take this to our dashboard and have it some kind of sync with what we are doing on the dashboard. So here is the dashboard. I'm just gonna have to paste this right here. Control V, we paste this right for me. So I'm just gonna go scroll down. I'm gonna scroll down right here. I'm just gonna expand this. And if you want to see how I just format my slides, you can watch my other tutorials. You get to see how we used to do this. I'm just gonna bring it to the top level right here and make sure I actually get it down to this level. And now beautiful. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna hit this particular expert and make sure okay, for that I'm gonna bring it down to have to be saturated with what I've done. So just go on to option and I'm gonna hit this. Okay, fine. This is beautiful. I have my slides are just like this. But right now I had actually pre-formatted it to keep the tutorial very short. I'm just gonna go to the top level right here. And now I pick this and the slider is sync with the with what I have right here. So now if I actually choose this, you can see every part of the dashboard is updating, just like what we have in this particular dashboard right here. So when I click on this, it shows us how many products we have on electronics. If I click on games, we shows how many products we have on games, and it gives us how the top profitable products for under games. And if I click on sales, it gives us the top profitable on games. If I click on transaction, which is having the highest transaction, and if I click on unit sold, and which is having the highest unit sold and stuff like that. So if I apply the filter right now, you see everything goes down, and all the other part of the dashboard just get to what? Just get to actually filtered at the same time, all of that. So, and this is beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and create what we have top store cities. Now top store cities, and we have all these KPIs right here, and see how that goes. So now let's see how we can actually go to the right sheet and do this. I'm gonna go back again and hit this. Now here is the right sheet. I'm just gonna go for this particular expert again. And I told you we don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel. All we need to do is just to copy this away from here. Copy, and I'm gonna go a little bit right here, and I'm gonna have this pasted inside here. Control V, we help you to paste that. So we have it pasted. So what we need to do right now is just for me to get my transaction away from here and see what we can do to get our analysis done. So now again, we have to remove the date away from here. I'm just going to deselect the date. So after we might have done this, the next thing we're going to do right now is to actually have the city name right here. I'm just going to locate the city star. So we have every stars in our city, in the cities right here. And here we go. So now the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to actually have to analyze this based on profit. So the top profitable city is what we really wanted. And it's very easy to actually do this. I'm going to go for some, okay. I'm just going to right click right here, and I'm going to go to this particular show value. So we're not going through here, we're going through here. I'm just going to right click on it and go to filter, and we're going to go to the top 10 right here, and actually say we need the top 5. So the top 5 is cool. So we need the top 5, and this time around we want to have the grand total turned back on. So I'm going to go back to my design, and from design I'm going to go to my grand total, and I'm going to have this grand total turned back on. So now just explore what other part of this particular grand total does and see how you can actually make it very unique. So I'm going to go to here and copy this away from here to see more analysis we can actually do to get this particular dashboard very much dynamic. So I'm just going to have to paste this right here. I'm going to say paste. And once I have this, I have pasted this. I have all store city sales, and I want to have the top 5 city total. I want to have the variance right here as well. Okay, in order to have that done, I'm going to click right here and copy the same thing again, because I told you we don't have to create this over and over again. And I'm going to actually have to come right here. If this far, I'm going to have to paste this right here. And for now, I'm going to clear the filter away from here. So the filter is being cleared. So I'm going to get the value from this particular and the total value. So I'm just going to scroll down and actually get the total value of the profit. And once I've done that, I'm just going to get the top 5 value as well. I'm just going to say equal to, and I have the top 5 value. And now for me to get the variance, I'm just going to say equal to, and I'm going to say this from here is going to actually go and this is what we have as the variance as what is left. So now this is exactly what it is. So we have just gotten this done, and the next thing we have to do right now is to create a kind of chart that is going to be fit into our dashboard. So now behind the scene, I have this created. It's the same thing we had done before. Now that was why I just had to go behind the scene and actually have this done. All we need to do is to actually insert a chart, the same type of chart right here. And once we've just done this, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to actually have to get this away from here, and I'm going to get this away from here right now. And the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to come right here, actually right click on it and select data and do the same thing in case you don't follow up in the first part of it. So now here we go. I'm going to put down my max right here and get this particular value away from here and actually have this. And I'm going to click on OK, and here we go. We say OK to this, and I'm going to have a double click, and I'm going to have this right here, and I'm going to have to click right there and actually go and make it overlapping 100%. I'm going to make this particular chart very small, a little bit wider than the previous one, and I'm going to have to change the color of this, and I'm going to hold down and click on this. Beautiful. So now we have to go right here and make sure we put it on white. So I'm going to put it on white for now, and this is what we really wanted. So I can actually make sure I have this away. So clicking this particular cancel, as in delete, to delete that for us. So now because we have this on a white background, we cannot really see the effect right now, and to actually get this particular part cut off from here, and we'll take this to a dashboard. And right, what I'm going to do is just for me to say Ctrl V and have it pasted right here. You can see it's much smaller, and I can actually bring it down to this particular aspect and make sure I fit that in right here and make it this way, and voila, we have this. So right now I'm going to double click on it. So already we have the particular format charts area. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to take this, turn this off again, and I'm going to actually have to click inside here and bring this down, and we can see where our max is actually falling at. And I'm going to click and actually make sure I give it a nice color that look very standard on it. So I'm going to go right here, and here we go. So I click on bold. So that is exactly what we really wanted. So now can we have this tested? So we have the slider on it. You can see the max is changing, and here as well the max changes. And when we go right here, we can see the max as well changes. And this is beautiful. We love this, right? So we don't have to like, where is the max falling at? So we can actually bring this down a little bit. So it shouldn't actually get itself disturbed right here. So now, beautiful, we have this done, and we can clear the filter and see what it is. What is that again we can actually do? So the next we're going to do right now is just to actually have this particular place customized. And actually, I'm going to go right here and show you the part of this using PivotTable alone without knowing how to use a function to actually get what you really wanted. So right now, if I click right here, it will start down to all the products that is peculiar to sport and outdoors. And we want to see the profit, we want to see the sales, we want to see the transaction. We can actually click right here and see all that. So if I go to where we have the data set coming from here right now, you can now see that there will be some kind of, can you see this? We have written formulas or functions. We use some functions to actually customize everything we have right here to actually default to what we really wanted. Do you never understand? Let us go and create this, and let me show you what it is that I'm trying to say. Okay, back to the creation dashboard. So I'm going to go right here, and here is what we're going to use. I'm just going to click on sales and actually get a new pivot table right to the new sheet we have opened. I'm going to click on this and go for the existing worksheet, and I'm going to actually have to click here, and now I'm going to have my sheet right here, and I'm going to press OK. So now we have this right here. What we're going to do right now for the first time is for we to actually see, okay, what do we want to have? We want to have products. So first of all, we get the product name. I'm just going to go on product name. Okay, we have to look for that. So here we go. We have the product names right here. So and the next thing, we want to have the profit. So we want to have the profit. We want to have the sales. I want to have the transaction. I'm going to bring this down here. It's going to default to count. So it's on some. We can change this to count. I'm going to bring it to count because we want to have a transaction count. So it's going to count it for me. So the transaction, and I'm going to have the units hold as well. I'm going to bring the unit cell down. So exactly this is what we wanted. And previously I've shown you how to actually get it off and to make sure you get this away from here. And once we actually use Ctrl H, it gives us the previous one. And what we need to do is just to actually get it sum off away from here. I'm going to click on replace all, and it replaced all for us. I'm just going to see close, and here I'm just going to type my trans. I hit enter, and I have it. So now beautiful. Okay, now if I go ahead right now and say I want to see the highest, as in the highest profit we have and which product does it fall to, and actually click on right here and actually go on large to smallest. And once I've done that, now it's actually filtered from large to smallest right here, but here it's not going to be sorted that same way. So if we click on this and say from large to smallest, so it to get this started here, it's just giving you the large to smallest, but this is not going to give you the same thing. So now I have it formatted. So you can see this is ranking from the largest down to the smallest to the very last smallest right here. And once we actually feel like, okay, we want to see the largest transaction we have right here, we go and sort and we click on this. This will get disorganized again. And this is the only place that it's going to sort. But we can actually do things by when we actually come to the dashboard, I want to show the largest one. When we click on this particular profit, it's giving us the large. This one's giving us the large without having to actually default to what we are having right here to have the wrong calculation. So we have to use some functions to get this done. And how do we do that? Let us take the first step. Okay, this is the sequence we're going to follow to have that created. So first of all, we need to get a profit we want to actually have sorted. So we need to check if there is any zero value. So we need to make it unique, and we need to get it max. And we need to sort it by country, and we have to sort it by the profit from the largest down to the smallest. And we have this done, and we replicate the same thing for our sales, transactions, and what, and the units sold by actually replicating through what we have actually created. So we don't have to create it from the scratch again. The first we're going to do is just to make sure we reference this. And I hit enter. I'm just going to copy this down to the last cell. So round down to here. So I have it exactly. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I have to use if condition to say if this here, if this is not equal to empty, I'm just going to block. So if it's not equal to empty, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is just give me this. And if it is empty, just give me 0. I'm going to have this closed and I hit enter. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, I think we messed things up right here. I'm just going to start over again and I'm going to type the new if. I'm sorry for that. I'm going to say if, and we're going to come back right to this particular here because this is what we're trying to analyze. So now to actually sort, we're going to click on that particular profit right here and watch me do the other part of it. I'm going to say comma, and we're using this particular if logic to see if that particular cell with that value is empty. I want to actually give us 0. If it is empty, just default to 0. And if it is not, what is going to happen? If it is not, sorry, I'm going to get this away. So I'm going to say equal to nothing. So, which means there is no value there, is 0 right there. So I want here to be 0 as well. So give me 0. And if there is any value, so just come here and have this for me. So I'm just going to have this closed and I hit enter. And here we have it. So don't worry, we're going to see the effect of what we are doing right now in no time. So we've gotten that particular part. We don't have to concern ourselves about what's going to happen right here. Now we need to get the we need to make it unique. So make this particular profit unique. So I'm going to say make the profit unique. So what is the uniqueness? The uniqueness is just this. We can be having like 1, 3, 4, and here we have 1, 3, 4, and here we have 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now there is no uniqueness between these two numbers right here, because it's 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. If we're trying to actually look for the max of this number right now, there is nothing we can do to get the max because they are actually related. So we might end up having it pulled at the same time. That was why if you use your pivot table to just say the top 5, and sometimes when you click on your filter and we're having the same value, it's going to give you the top 6, top 7, whatsoever. But if we use this particular way of doing what I'm doing right now, you will see that you're not going to have to encounter such a problem because you made it unique. So let's see how we can make our profit very unique. And this is the first step we're going to take right now. Okay, to start this now, I'm going to say equal to this number right here. I'm just going to say equal to this number right here. So what I'm going to do right now is this. I'm going to say equal to this number. And I'm going to be using this plus rows. So this is the reason why I'm using plus rows, because I'm going to be copying this down and we don't want to encounter any error when we use our filter on it. So we have to use plus rows. And it's going to be from this particular row here to that same row, which means from K8 to K8. You can see that. And you can actually have this closed. And right now I'm going to divide this by a large number. I'm going to be dividing this by 1,000,000. So right now I have it divided by a million. So once I've done that, I can actually hit enter, and this is exactly what I wanted to do. But there will be an error if I have this copied down. Let's see what the error is going to look like. So it's giving us not unique because right now we are not doing the right thing. So now it is as a result of we not to have to log the right cell down. So it's actually moving from the wrong place, from the right place to the wrong place. So for that, we have to perform what we call cell lock. So to perform cell locking right now, when we come right here, it's looking at this, and when we just come right here, it's actually leaving. So the first thing I'm gonna do right now is just for we to log the first K8 down. So K8, we need to actually lock it down and hit enter. And right now, watch what happens. This particular one that goes all through would have to change once I've done that. So now it's actually this. So I'm going to show you the effect of this. So right now, if I have this particular here, 744, and here, right, I'm going to have 744 here. Is actually unique because we have this particular 1 and 11 right here. So it's not going to get distorted. So I'm just going to copy back. And the next we're going to be doing right now, we have to sort it by marks. So we have to actually arrange it from the highest down to the lowest number. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, in order to do this, we're going to use what we call large functions. I'm going to say large. I'm going to have to okay, the large is looking for what? It's looking for the array. And the array is going to be from here down to here. That is the large. So once we have just done this, I'm going to get comma, and the k is going to be what? The k is not what you're thinking. So we have to provide the k what we really want it to be. And the k is going to go with the rows. And I'm going to say from this particular row here, from this row to that particular K8. K8 to K8, I'm going to have it closed. And right here, I'm going to have to lock this particular aspect down. So we have performed this cell locking because we have to make this absolute by locking it down. And we lock the first K down. And once we do that, we hit enter. Okay, because we have a bracket, which is the large bracket is not being closed. So it's going to close it for us automatically. And now it's giving us the largest number. So once we come right here and drag this down, it's going to actually default to this. Now it has been ranked from the lowest, from the highest down to the lowest. So now, as you can see, you might not really get it right. You'll be thinking, is this really working? So now what you need to do is just for you to highlight it down to the last one right here, and your control one will help you to actually get it formatted. I'm going to go for number. I'm just going to actually have to get with separator. I'm going to say, okay, now you can see this is the highest, second highest, third, fourth, and it's going all the way down. You can see the number is reducing. We have it right here. Okay, the next we're going to do right now, I want to get a country that is peculiar to this because right now it's not the same country we have right on this particular first one here. This one is actually mixed up because we have actually started our work. So I'm just going to get the, this is what we're going to use. That is why it's on green. So we need to get a country that's peculiar to this right here using index and match. So to get that, I'm going to say equal to, I'm going to put on my index. And if you had been watching my tutorial, I'm a very big fan of index and match. Okay, and index and match. We have index and match and we have index and match, but right now I'm going to be using what we call index and match alone. I'm going to say index, and the index is going to be looking for the array where what we want to put right here, where is the country sitting. I'm just going to scroll down to this end and actually come right here and highlight this whole range right here. Once I have it highlighted, I can go back and actually scroll up. And now we have just done that. So we have it seated right there. I'm going to say comma. And what X do we have to do? We have to actually get the row number. I'm going to use match to get that. And the match is going to ask for the lookup value. So the lookup value is going to be this. I'm looking this up. And where do we want to look this up? We need to actually provide it with what? With lookup array. And the lookup array is going to be our make the profit unique right here. I'm just going to scroll down through to the last level. So here we go. Now, if I scroll back up again, I'm going to have to provide it with comma. Again, it's asking me, do I need the exact match, the greater than or less than whatsoever? So I need the exact match. I'm going to have it with 0. I'm just going to actually say, okay, now closed. I'm going to close my index as well. If I hit enter right now, it gives me the highest value country. And I can actually go ahead and actually scroll this down. So now I'm having this error. Why am I having this error? It's very simple. You might have to take note of it just for a while before I actually go ahead and fix it. Can you think of what is going on right here? Why we are having this error? It's a common error and it could be fixed. It's not something that you have to like, wow, what is going on? But if you are novice to Excel and novice to the dashboard creation and using mixed function, you can actually have this error and you'll be like, well, how am I going to solve this? It's simple. I believe you've thought about it. So now I'm going to actually highlight again and see what is going to happen. If I actually come right here and you can see it's shifting, we don't have to make it shift. We have to make it static to the top, to the level, and we don't have to actually lock the whole cell though. So I'm just going to click and we have to make this one right here, lock down all through and lock here all down all through. That is exactly what we need to do, but we failed to do it and it gives us an error. Okay, we have performed the cell locking, and what we don't lock is just this because this can actually move, but here has to be static, and the other part of it, where we have the country coming from, would have to be static. I'm just going to say okay to it, and right now, if I drag this down by double clicking on this particular aspect, look at what happened. It's okay, it's correct right now. Wow, we love this, and this is exactly the first part of this dashboard. And right now, what I'm going to do is just to actually do the same thing to get the profit right here, and to get the profit, I'm just going to copy this away from here. Just copy and come to this cell and have this pasted here. And what we need is the profit. I'm just going to double click on it and move down to this end and actually just have to bring this right here and we have the profit. Exactly. We just have the profit right here that is peculiar to this. Can you see that? This is beautiful. Now you can see it's correlating with what we have right here and it's correlating with what we have right here. And now we have just done this. We can actually go ahead to our dashboard and see how we can actually get this updated. I'm just going to say equal to, and I'm going to go to my what I'm going to go to this particular pick analysis. I'm going to have this right there. So here we go. We have this. So we have to drag this down. But I want to show you how I just got this created so that when we actually click on this, it's just going to actually work on it. So right now it's not working because we have not connected our slicer on it. So I'm just going to go right here and go to the pivot table and have the slicer connected. Just click anywhere from here and go to what? Go to analysis. From analysis here, we have filter connection. We have our filter connected to it. So if I go back, so I'm just gonna go right on this particular aspect. I'm gonna have to copy this down. So we're having 0 all through and we're having this dash and we don't want this dash to be on it. I'm just gonna actually release this and here we have it all. So if I click on this, it's gonna give us 0 all through and we don't want this 0 to be here. How do we deal with this? This is exactly what we're gonna do. Watch me do it. So you click back right here and you scroll down to this particular end and you're having this 0. So in order to clear the 0 we have right here that is reflecting on our dashboard, this is what you're going to do. We're going to be using if alert. I'm just going to go right here and actually say, okay, now my cursor should be here. I'm going to say if, and the if is going to actually work with this. So I'm going to say if this particular cell right here, the value we have on it is less than 1, which means it's equal to 0, is less than 1. So I want to give me nothing. Just give me nothing. Don't display 0 whatsoever. And now that is the first condition. And if it is false, what are you going to give me, which means the value there is greater than 1, just give me whatever the value we have pumping from this particular function actually written. And I'm going to have it closed right here. I hope you understand what is going on. If you have not subscribed my YouTube channel, go ahead right now and smash the like button, subscribe, and as well share the video to all your friends and colleagues at work and make sure you keep coming over and over again. Okay, right now I'm going to hit enter. And once I've done that, I'm just going to actually have to double click and actually go see what is going on right here. This is exactly what it is. And I'm going to do the same thing to this as well. What I need to do is just for me to actually copy this. But for now, I'm not going to be using this value coming from here. Okay, for sure, I just have to copy this just from here down to the if. So we don't have to actually start writing it over and over again. Just come right down here and Control V. We have it pasted for you. And I just have to log this, close this and hit enter. Oh, I think we have some kind of error. Okay, we need a comma right here. And if I hit enter, it works. I'm going to clear the 0 away from it and go back to my dashboard right now. It's cleared and here we have this. So this is what I want to show you. Now, if I actually clear the filter, this particular dash we have on it, we just go away. I want to put the value right here temporary before I actually get to see how we can actually bring the right value. I'm just going to drop this right there and I'm going to actually have to bring this So all the formatting I have right here, I'm just going to get it away so that we can actually start afresh and do this, and you're going to see how it works. But right now, this is not functioning because we have not customized this to work with it, because we've not actually run the analysis off. So every single time I actually put a filter, you can see here get cleared and get empty. Doesn't mean that we don't have anything right here. We still have our function right here written. So now this is exactly what is going to happen. I'm just going to clear this away from here. I don't want any formatting right here. So we're going to do it manually. I'm going to show you how I did that. So just come right here. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to say clear rules. I'm going to say clear rule from the selected. So that's been cleared. No more rules again. If I click on this, you can see it's giving me the right products. But we are not done yet. We're not done yet because we have to analyze for sales. We have to analyze for transaction. And we have to analyze for units sold, but we don't have to write this over and over again. Watch me do this. You have to watch me do this, because if you are doing yours, you would have to do it the same way I just did my own. And the next one I'm going to do right now is much important than the previous one you've seen, because we have to recycle. I call that recycle. Okay, I'm just going to go back right here, and what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I copy this. I'm going to copy this away from here. Nice, the recycling is happening right now. Well, I'm just going to make sure I have it copied all, so it's not off. I'm just going to make sure I copied this down to the end, so we have it. So just say Control C, we copy. So we just have to paste this right here. I'm going to paste this. So I'm going to paste this. So we have every connection this one has, but right now we have to make changes to it. And the change is going to actually be very speedy. I'm just going to highlight this whole range and actually double click on it and expand it. And here we have to actually bring in sales. Okay, now we have copied here and we have an identical analysis. So right now I'm going to change this one to sales. So I'm going to change this one to sales. And for that, I'm just going to actually reference this here. I'm going to say sales, and it gives me sales all through. So what we're going to do right now, we don't have to write the same thing over and over again. I'm just going to come right here and actually double click on this, and it's looking at this, and I love it. So right now, if you come to max, you can see this is what is actually the row is actually starting from here, and it's extending. We want that from K. So we can make a change. We want to bring the row reference right here to start from else right now. I'm going to say else. So we've migrated that from S to S. So if you understand, if you're following up previously, you understand what I'm doing. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to have to drag this down, and it's okay. It's working fine for now. So now the next thing I'm going to do right now is for the max. For the max now, if I have the max template, which is going to have, there will be an error right now. If I click on the max and actually go to this level right here, it's actually fetching data from the what? From K8. And I want to actually make sure I actually change the reference of K8 to S. So now here again, and that is exactly what we need to do. And the next thing we're going to do right now is just for we to go back and look at our data and see where it's actually taken from. It's taken from what? It's taken from M. So M is taking data from M, and we have to change this, make the profit unique. And it's going to be make sales unique right now. So I'm just going to actually click right here. To make sales unique, what we're going to do is just for we to change this particular aspect to U now. I'm going to change this to U. I'm going to change this to U. And now we have made the reference to be back here. If I hit enter, we have an error. So I'm just going to actually make sure I double click, and the error is actually all true. Don't worry, we'll fix it. Now I'm going to say make the sales. So now here I've written make the sales unique, and it's actually looking here. So if you watch this particular aspect, the first thing you have to do right now to understand the whole stuff is just to go back and actually watch how we actually created this, and you get the whole stuff. And we're having this error is actually normal. We would have this error because we are not really concentrating where we have the data concentrated previously. If I double click on it and I'm going to go right here, I can see where it's fetching data from. It's fetching data from what? From make the profit unique, and this is very bad. So I'm just going to have to change that particular aspect where it says make the profit unique, and what it is actually the M. So I want to change that M and make sure we change it to what? Make the sales unique to U. And here we have the M. I'm going to change it to U, and I'm going to change this to U as well. And for the rest, which is the index is looking at the right place, which is this particular product names. I'm just going to go back again, and what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to hit enter, and it's okay. I'm just going to drag this down. So we don't have to do the correction for this as well. So all we just have to do is just to go right here and copy, and just Control C. We have it copied, and come right here and Control V. We have it pasted, and we go back and actually make sure we click on it to highlight it for us, and we go right here and make a change, a switch from product down to sales, and we have it completed. So if I have just drag down now, you can see we are having the right analysis we should have, just like the previous one we have just done. So right now we've just done this one for sales right now, and it is not still switchable. Don't worry, we're gonna see how we can actually switch this so that every single time we click on this, it gives us the value that's peculiar to every single product we have right here. Okay, I'm just going to do the other part of it behind the scene and show you how we can actually integrate this particular aspect once and for all. Okay, right now we have gotten every single part of it actually replicated, and it's very simple. You can actually do it. So I'm just going to scroll to this level right now, and I'm going to copy this name and as well. Okay, do I need to copy the name again? I believe I don't need to. I can actually go ahead and copy the name as well. I'm just going to copy this, and I'm actually going to go down to the end here. I'm going to have this pasted right here. So I'm just going to paste this as what? Paste this as value, because if I paste this with ordinary paste, it's going to paste the pivot table for me. So I'm just going to paste as value, and I have this. I can go ahead and actually make the header to be some kind of with this color. I'm going to make it bold, and that is nice. That is nice. So for now, I'm going to get the names from here. So this is the name that's peculiar to it, and here is actually the profit. So I was actually identify it by color. So I'm just going to go to get the first profit. This is the first profit right here. Oh, I forgot to actually put my equal to right there before I came down to where it is. I'm just going to go say equal to, and I'm going to scroll down to this end. I'm going to have my profit from here. Here is my profit. I hit enter, and now for me to get the sales, I put my equal to again. I locate where the sales is. I have the sales right here. I hit enter, and right here again, I'm going to put my equal to under the transaction, and I locate where my transaction is sitting, and I actually have it. I put in enter. I'm going to go to where I have my unit sold, and here it is, and I hit enter. So right now everything is done. I'm just going to actually have to bring it down till we actually get to the last part of it. So now beautifully we have something nice like this, and this is cool. So when we actually place our filter right now, it's just going to get updated automatically. And what I'm going to do right now is just for me to actually make sure I make this switch between this data and between this profit, sales, transaction, and units sold. And it's going to be dynamic. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I have this copied from here once again. Right click on it, Control C will help me do that. I'm just going to say Control V. I have it pasted right there. I'm just going to expand it. And here we're going to go back to our dashboard and pick something very important. So now just right click and make sure one of it is highlighted. So now just go to form control, and from form control we can actually go to where we can actually link this, and we're not gonna link this right here because this is the previous aspect. We just have to just select the link in from here. So we're going to go for the right sheet. So here's the right sheet. Okay, sorry for that. Here's the right sheet right here. And now what we need to do is just to go to the sheet. I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to have it linked at the top level right here. And I'm going to actually click on OK. That is it. So we have it clicked. And if we go back, guess what? We have it to be the third one right here. And if I go here, I select, it gives me 1. And if I go right back again and select this one, it's going to give me 2. It's giving me the second one. And if I go back again and select the last one, it's giving me the last one I have selected, which is the fourth one. And we can actually get to see what it is that we have actually selected right from here. So using index is is one of the your function I love to use. I'm just going to provide it this as an array. I'm going to hit comma, it's requesting for the row number. I'm going to have this for it, and I'm going to hit enter. And it's telling me what I have selected right now is the unit sold, and the value that is peculiar to this unit sold. I'm going to have to get this the value. And what am I going to do to get the value? Okay, to get the value right now, what I'm going to do is to use what we call offset function. Offset, and once I actually get this offset is the reference. I'm going to reference this particular aspect right here and hit my comma. Is looking for the column. How many columns do I want to go up and down? I want to move up and down whatsoever. I give it 0, and I put comma again. It's asking me for the column number, and I'm going to provide this particular number right here, which is the column, the unit we have actually selected. I want to get the value from here for me. And once I've done that, I can close. But this is optional. It's actually talking about the height and the what and the width. So we don't need to actually give it that, and I can now have it closed right here. Or if I go and do this, something is going to happen again. We have to actually make a cell locking, and we're not doing that. So for that, it's going to default to 0, and this is exactly what it is. So this is moving. We don't want it to move. So we want it to be static right there. I'm just going to double click on it and actually have this particular A4, that is under UAU right here, or lockdown. What is this? I'm just going to actually make sure I make it to be static there. So once I actually have this copied down, that's what happened. This is exactly what it is. So right now, if I go right ahead and choose 1, it's going to give me profit, and every value I have on the profit is going to be peculiar to what it is. Oh, right here, I think something is missing. Okay, we should have products exactly. We need to have this right here, and I'm going to have to get it back. So we have the right products right there. So we go back to a dashboard right now, and we actually have to pick from here. Go back to here, pick from here down, and I'm gonna go right here and select and take it across, and it's gonna fill it down for me, and exactly this is what we've gotten. So beautiful. If I choose this, you can see it's giving me the right value. Beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. So now we've just gotten this, but there is a particular part I want to show you how to actually do. If so, if you look at this here right now, we have this particular border around it. That every single time we make a selection, the border get to disappear. How do we do it? And we have these numbers right here as well. We need to actually have this number right here. So we need all that. So now you can see the border will get clear as soon as we filter all through. And we want to actually add this functionality to make our dashboard to be very much more interesting to actually read. So let us go and actually do that. Okay, we can now go ahead right now and create a dynamic number we have right here. I'm just going to put my cursor right here and type 1 there. And now we have to make it dynamic. So what we need to do, I'm a fan of if condition because you can use if to actually get what you wanted. I'm going to say equal to, and I'm going to write if right here. I'm going to say if this particular S6 right here is equal to empty, just give me nothing, which means if there is no text right there, no value right there, just give me nothing. Else, if it is not, I want you to actually say, okay, this particular number right here, you have to plus 1. You understand what I'm trying to say right now? You just need to plus 1. So it's going to accumulate 1, 2, 3, 4 down to the last value. So I'm just going to have to close this and I hit enter. Now it's giving me 2. I cannot go ahead and drag this down to the last value right here, and it's giving me 24. That is beautiful. So watch what is going to happen right now. If I click on this, you can see it's giving me just 5. So I have 5 products under sport and outdoors, and if I click on games, I have just 7 products under what, under games right here. So you don't need to actually go start counting 1 down to the last one. You just have to look at the numbers you have right here, and that is cool. So we can actually create a very dynamic labeling right here to actually see, or commentary right here to actually see how we can actually read our data more better. So all that. So right now, what is left right now is for we to actually add a very dynamic border around this particular text we have. Let's see how we can do that. So in order to have the functionality right there, I'm just going to come right here. I'm going to type in my if. I'm going to say if this particular product right here is equal to nothing, which means if there's no product there, just give me nothing. And else, if there is any product existing right there, so just give me 1. I'm going to have it closed, then I hit enter. So it's giving me 1. So I'm going to have to drag this down right here. So now we've dragged this down. So this is the first thing we have to do. And after all, we can now go ahead and hide this cell. We don't want to see kill, or the cell kill right here. We don't want to see it in view. And you can see what's going to happen right now. If I have this selected, you can see it's giving me empty right here. That is how we were able to actually customize that particular kind of border right around it. I'm just going to actually deactivate it and actually go for the next level. Okay, after we might have gotten all this one down to the last one right here, so we can actually go ahead and highlight this range from here down to here all the way down. So make sure you highlight it. After I might have a highlight there, you just go to your what, conditional formatting, and under the conditional formatting, click on new rule. And here we click on use formula to determine which cell to be formatted whatsoever, and click on this. And this is the cell we want to actually make a reference to. Now we are saying if this cell right here, we're not using if condition, I'm just trying to say this. If this cell right here, this Q5 right here, because we have to copy this down, we have to have it all the way down. We need to remove the first dollar sign. Always remember that is equal to 1. Then we have to give it the kind of format we really wanted. So we need this, and we want the dash to be all around it. That is the dash border. So if I go ahead and click OK and hit OK right here, right now, you can see we have our border. And it's very, very dynamic. If every single time we go ahead and click on any of the products, we can see it shifts because already we are having nothing right here. That was the reason why we have this defined. I'm just gonna go, which says if S7. S7 is this. This is the S7 right here. Is S8. Can you see that? S8 right here. I'm highlighting that right here for you. And if it is empty, give us nothing. But if it is not, just give us one. And we'll use that one to determine where we have borders. So I can go ahead and click on it and go on what and hide. And I've just actually hidden this cell right now. I can clear this from here if I choose to. I don't like it. I'm going to clear it away from here alone. I'm just going to go right here, go to the formatting and go to what clear rows and go to the selected. Don't go for the entire, just the selected alone, and we have it away. That is the future you need to see, and know about exactly. So now the next thing we're going to do right now is just for we to have some kind of a bar right here that still give us more beautification. So you can highlight the whole stuff and give it a very nice color that does correlate with your Excel dashboard. So I'm just going to go right back to this particular format, and here we go. I need this bar, but I don't have anyone that's going to fit in right here. I'm just going to go for more rows, and I'm going to choose the kind of color I really wanted for it. I think I am going to prefer this kind of color. I'm going to hit OK, and I have this. Do I really like this? I think it's too dark. I might actually go ahead and choose something that is not as dark as this. So we just have to make a change to it. And what we need to do right now is to manage, or just manage rules. And here we go. We have, let's click on it and go for it, edit rules. And we can go for something lighter. On a lighter mode, we have something like this. Test here, we're going to have something like this. And once I hit OK and hit OK right here, I have a very beautiful analysis right. Okay, the next thing we're going to add right now is just like we want to add dynamic commentary to see what is going on right here. And if I click on this particular sales right, you're going to see this is going to change. If I click on transaction, this is going to change. It's telling us that showing total transaction on 6 distinct products selected. And how do we do this? It's very simple. When we make a selection, it actually gives us that. So let me just show you in some few minutes before we close the tutorial. Okay, now what we're going to do right now, I'm going to hit on this particular sheet right here. Okay, now we are on the right sheet. Okay, not on the right sheet. We just have to go on the creation sheet. Here we go. And I'm going to go to picked analysis right here. And I'm going to hit on this particular last part of it. And I'm going to say count A. I'm going to use count A to count all the products we have right here. So if you think your product is going to actually keep extending, you can actually extend it down to this level so it doesn't cost a thing. So all you need to do is just to have it closed and hit enter. And here we have it, 24 products. That is how many products we have, 24 products. If we have more products coming in, it's going to get accumulated. You have to keep room for that if you're making your analysis, if you know you're going to have more products to come in. So now that we've done this right now, what next do we do? We have to make a very dynamic commentary with this. How do we? So now we have to reference this particular J7 right here. So we're going to make a reference, J7. I'm just going to scroll down to this end. I'm going to say right here, I'm going to say is equal to J7. So I have the same thing right here. Okay, now that we have this right now, we have to make our commentary very dynamic. So I'm just going to say right now equal to, I'm just going to leave this particular double quotation right here. I'm going to say, okay, on a capital letter for the first one. Oh, sorry for that. Just have to cancel this. Okay, fine. I'm going to say showing. So I'm just going to use my ampersand. We call this ampersand, this and sign. So I'm going to reference this because this is where this is coming from. Dynamically, it's going to change. So now once I've done this, I'm going to say showing profit. Like showing profit. So we have to close the ampersand again and introduce under quotation mark and give a space. So showing profit on. So we have to actually close it and before we close, we give it space again, we close it, and after we've closed this, we have to use under ampersand again on 26. So we have to close under ampersand again and open a new bracket, a new quotation mark, sorry to say. Okay, showing profit on 24 distinct products selected on the filter. So on the filter, so I'm gonna have it closed and hit enter. Now we have it. So we have to get this right there and see how we can actually make it to sit right. And every single time we make a change, we're gonna change along with it. So right now, what we need to do right now, I'm just gonna actually have to copy this. Okay, I can go ahead and insert a new one. It's very simple. I'm gonna show you how to do that in case you've not done that before. So go here and actually click on this, and here we have it. Just have to put our equal to right here. I'm gonna put my equal to, and once I've done that, I'm just gonna go back to this particular aspect and pick this down to my dashboard, and here we have it. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna pick this. I'm gonna have it right here. And I'm gonna give it a very nice, cool color that is gonna stand out. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna crank it up. So now I have to make sure I reduce it. Beautiful. Sorry, Control Z will help us control that. So we have something nicely like done like this. I'm gonna make sure it's centralized. Click two of them together and go to the top level right here and hit on format, and make sure I have this particular center, so it's going to centralize it. So now we have it like this, showing profit on 24 distinct products selected on the filter. So now we don't have filter on it, which means we have all the filter activated. If I actually make a selection right now, it's telling us that we are showing 6 distinct products selected on the filter. Now can you see that 6? And we have right here, we have 6. So now beautiful. Okay, what about this particular aspects here? What are we going to do? We have to create this in the next tutorial where we have this dynamic people's chart that shows us the progress of the gender that actually coming to us to make a purchase on every single product we have. That is exactly what it is. So right now I'm going to show you in the next video how to actually create this. Thank you very much for watching. If you're still watching, thank you. I want to say thank you again to being by me. That means I have something to share with you. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and stay out of trouble. I really appreciate it.